All right, here we go. This one's a little harder. Dear Mattsons, I recently discovered that my son has been viewing pornography online. What should I do? Well, this is big, and I think the big thing to remember, broader scope in terms of answering that is that it's everywhere, and our culture is so hyper-sexualized. So when you hold that and you know that to be true as a parent, and just imagine again what's coming to kids. It's a lot more than what came to us as parents in terms of our normal day-to-day and interactions, right? And that helps ground us in the reality of what they're experiencing. So start there and then take it to this next space. Realize that specifically even that the porn industry is looking to create addicts, and they're starting with the young. And that's their intention. They make their money and their revenue there, and it's an insane amount of revenue here and just in America as it relates to this industry. Hold those two pieces together and then turn towards your son. Yeah. Turn towards them in an open dialogue, a concerned dialogue about this, and bring the educational piece to the mix. And you know, if you're able to, this is a wonderful thing for a father to have a conversation with, but moms can have this conversation with their sons as well. And you're not wanting to bring shame, but you're wanting to bring context, care and concern, affirming the relationship as the starting point.
Yeah. I think it's pretty normal for the average male to see porn at some point between the ages of 6 and 11. And for girls from the ages around the same age, but between age and 13, we're going to be exposed at some point to pornography. And so really being able to normalize that and actually have a proactive approach. I want to fast forward a little bit. So when we're working with somebody, maybe a young adult or a seasoned adult who is addicted to pornography, it often started at this age when they're younger. And so the key factor is this. It's less about the pornography, even though it's as addictive as heroin. You get a dopamine fix from that. So we really want to address it quickly for kids. But it's actually about relationship. It's about not knowing how to have emotional intimacy. And so if that helps flip it on its head and to say, really, this is less about pornography and more about turning, like you said, towards relationship and teaching your son how to have emotional, healthy relationships. How do you actually be honest about how you feel? And how do you cope with those feelings when you feel stressed, overwhelmed? And how do you turn towards God and towards people instead of towards sex, which is a highly stress-relieving antidote that God gave us, and pornography is just a fast dosage of that. It's the dopamine fix on steroids. Long term, it has all kinds of issues. So really, I think it kind of calms our anxiety when we know the why, like why we would get addicted to porn, and to take the shame out. So I love that you said turn towards your son, and I mean, would you be even willing to share? Yeah,
I mean, one of the things that you can do that's so powerful in the conversation with your son or daughter about this as well, because it's being served up to both genders in this space way too frequently. Is to share your own story with it. I remember I was literally on a classic soccer team. I was in elementary school, and we stopped off for big gulps at some 7-Eleven, and one of my teammates grabbed a porno magazine and was like, "Hey, look at this!" And that was my first exposure to pornography. To see a naked woman, and it was like, I didn't know what to do with that. I'm in elementary school, but that raises the curiosity, and then that, of course, that can be a gateway to all kinds of things and hiddenness. You oftentimes say this. I think this is really powerful. Show me a person, and if we're talking about a male here, show me a man that's addicted to pornography, and I'll show you a man that doesn't have close male friendships. And it is about relationship. And so it's less about sex and inappropriate use of sex or perversion of sex and all of that. And it's about connection, healthy connection.
and learning how to reframe that. So the ongoing conversation about what do we do and turning towards, and don't have the conversation once. So, when you discover, check in, keep talking about it. How you doing? Even years later. And so that's really a key part of walking with our kids, not fearing all of the temptations around, but recognizing we're all going to be tempted. It's what do we do with it? And so whether you're dealing with a son or a daughter who's struggling, or maybe you want to be proactive, maybe start talking about it ahead of time. And so when you do see this, here's what you do. So lots of more resources that we've provided on Living Wholehearted podcast as well. We talk about this throughout our podcast. We'll link to the episodes below. But we're so grateful that you would subscribe and keep sending us your questions. And really, you are the right parent for the job, even in these moments. And we are here cheering you on.